And we're in, and I think people can actually hear me this week. Did I do it right the first time? Did it happen?
Please, Lord, someone say in the chat.
Yeah, everyone's gone really quiet in the chat.
Please.
Always worrying. Yes!
Yes!
I give myself inspiration.
Who gave you inspiration? DM inspiration.
Hello and welcome to Some Other Heroes. This must be the best episode ever because I managed to get the mic to work straight off.
Yeah! Good start.
Dear. Hello, welcome. It's Sunday afternoon. My name is Chris Mepham. If you don't know me already, I am a geek, a nerd, an illustrator, a DM and a storyteller. And these are my wonderful cast of people who can all introduce themselves rather than me speaking for them. And we're going to start today with Charlie.
Ooh, hi. I am Charlie. I use she, her. I am an illustrator and a lecturer and also a massive nerd. I have a dog called Lola who is asleep there next to us, who will be joining us. And, yeah, that's me.
Furry friends, always welcome. Speaking
Always.
of which, if you ever see Theo looking to one side, it's probably because the cat's at the window.
Yeah.
Theo, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, I am Theo. I use they, them pronouns, and I am an illustrator and general gremlin. And I will be playing the lovely half-elf wizard, Eugene.
Beautiful. Awesome. And last but never least, Wayne.
Hi, I am Wayne Fick. I am an art director and a branding coach, and I am playing the rather overdramatic bard Rock, and I use he, him pronouns, as does my character.
I use he, him, unless I'm playing she, hers in the game, so, or they, thems as well, so, because I always forget at the beginning, but thank you guys for reminding me. So last episode, because it was only last week, so I'm hoping most people can remember, our intrepid adventurers finally managed to resolve their murder mystery adventure with the help of the very bubbly halfling rogue Garrick. They rescued their friend Aisling, who had been kidnapped, worked out with the help of one of the captors that they managed to take what was going on, that somebody was messing with mystical energy that was meant to heal, and instead brought forth an evil force across the veil and input it into a poor halfling victim. With the help of Aisling and some little investigating, they managed to track down where Myrr, the victim, was. They confronted Myrr and managed to take them down, stopping them from finding the circle. Then the lovely Eugene, with the help of his friends, managed to create a spell that pulled the evil entity out of Myrr, freeing the halfling from whatever had befallen them. Interestingly, during that, although nobody else noticed because it was so busy, Aisling managed to pull some of the energy into herself at the behest of her patron. This has not really been discussed as yet, but might come up later. It's worth remembering. Having resolved the battle, having rescued the halfling and reunited Garrick with his lifelong friend, the three adventurers confirmed what had happened with the City Watch, handed over Farkas Bench, the person behind, one of the people behind what happened, and returned to their inn for a much needed rest, safe in the knowledge that they had done good and actually managed to help someone as well as earn some coin on the side. So I think before we go, I am just going to paint a picture for something else that is happening around the area. Just give me 1 second. music and the scene changes. Before we begin, I would like you to cast your attention back a couple of days to when this all began. Actually, just a few hours after our three friends met for the very first time. With Cloud's cairn and the strange occurrences of the previous 2 days safely behind them, the crew of the Swallow's Envy are setting back into a normal routine. A hold full of goods, no passengers, and clear skies as far as the borders of the Mystery Empire. This all has Captain Leafric in a good mood. Or as good as the Aarakocra ever gets. Even the strange death of Mean Rick and the lack of real evidence as to what happened don't have him worried anymore. In truth, he was going to let the man go come Cloud's Cairn, and the strange imp that Rick summoned doing him in has simply removed that problem. The satyr's explanation may have been a little weird, but at least she was honest, and it fitted with what the captain expected from the sallow man and his general demeanour. Now was the time for clear skies, some profit from the fat purses of the Imperials, and nothing could possibly dim his mood right now. Right? He felt the shift in the winds as soon as the thought left his mind. The feathers around his collar fluffed out instinctually as a strange tingle of unfamiliar magic suddenly built in the air. "Hard to port!" he roared suddenly, gripping the wheel and watching his crew leap into action. The Swallow's Envy lurched and twisted. She was fast and nimble compared to most ships, but even she balked at this sudden unexpected turn. The scraping of metal and wood on stone, some cracking, and then the ship was free in open skies again. Leafric gathered his thoughts, coming down from the wheel and ordering his crew to check for actual damage. The new girl, Zigil, ran up to him as he leant on the starboard rail, watching the strange object they had hit. She whistled as she approached. "Me mam always said that some islands were caught below the sky shield, but I thought they floated up slow-like when they got free, Captain." "Normally they do. They don't just appear in clouds of smoke like that." The captain gripped the rail tightly, that strange tingle of magic ruffling his feathers fully. Eowyn, currently wearing the face of a young harbour guard that they had taken a liking to, clambered the stairs to where they stood. "We were lucky, Captain. The damage is purely surface. We are as good to fly. Shall we set course around this thing?" The captain thought for a second, and then sighed. The joy of profit slipping through his fingers, fouling his mood further. "No, not this time. Set sail back to the cairn. Our friend the mayor will want to hear about this." We'll now come forward, and we'll find ourselves in the middle of the Ogre's Rest. It's a busy evening, and in one corner, sitting, catching their breath, I should imagine, are three familiar friends. Aisling, what thoughts are in your mind at this moment, as you and your two friends catch a much-needed breath?
I think it's a mixture between trying to convince Alabaster to turn up and tell her what the hell happened when she absorbed some stuff. It's about 50% that, and then in Aisling fashion, 50% monkey with symbols like in Homer Simpson's head.
Amazing. Really
50% deep thoughts and 50% squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Distracted by everything that goes round.
Yeah, fully distracted and not paying attention, and then like, oh yeah, existential crisis. Oh wait, look at that!
Sitting next to Aisling, probably a nose in the book, trying to calm down and centre his thoughts, is Eugene. And what does Eugene currently have sitting in their mind?
I think Eugene, being someone who enjoys a puzzle and figuring things out, is still thinking about the box and looking through any books that he has that he thinks might be might be able to help him solve the puzzle because he can't stand not knowing what's going on.
Is there sort of like a sideways glance at Aisling every 5 seconds or so,
Yeah.
just to see if you can see anything going on there?
Nah.
Spoiler, nothing is going on there.
Low intelligence, high wisdom. Woo!
And finally, Rock, who usually is the most verbose of the three, is quietly
The
sipping
bar
a beer.
isn't high.
Yeah. Is currently sipping an ale or a drink of his own. What is Rock thinking at this point?
Rock is actually unusually quiet. First of all, because Rock is thinking about whether to ask Aisling about the box, because he was with Eugene when the Quasit mentioned the box, but everything else has kind of happened so quickly that he has not thought about that. And he's now considering whether he should ask Aisling, whether it matters and whether it's of any consequence. But he's also a little bit concerned, having noticed what happened with the energy, but not actually sure what he saw. So he's trying to figure out whether there is anything to be worried about. And as he doesn't really know what happened at all, trying to figure out whether to broach the subject at all or whether it was just his imagination, basically.
To put in the point, you will need to go back to the barracks tomorrow, but for now you have the time to yourself to do whatever you wish. It is early afternoon. Early evening, I should say. Around about 7-ish our time.
Would anybody like another drink or perhaps some food from the bar?
I mean, Aisling always wants food, right?
Yeah, she's trying to work out which platter she wants. Yeah, I want another cheese board, please.
Of course. I mean, why stop at 3? Eugene, what would you like?
Eugene's kind of too distracted reading, but he kind of waves like, just another tea would be nice.
Oh, good. Eugene, do come help me carry the food and drinks, please.
The cheese board's pretty big. Yeah, you might need 2 people.
Fine. He pointedly closes his book and leaves it on the table.
Awesome. Come along, and I shall head to the bar and place my order.
It is not leave behind the bar tonight. It is the young man who often near behind, who you've learnt his name is Alex. Alex takes your order, pours out things, like makes a note in the ledger what you've actually eaten and things and what you have to pay for. So 2 cheese boards I can probably write off under normal food, but you're going to need to pay for a 3rd one.
That's fine. How much is it?
2 silver.
Oh, fine. And I shall take 2 silver and throw it across the bar.
Yeah, he takes it and puts it away pockets it away. Excellent. And drinks, normal round.
Yes, a tea and. Can I have one of the little the dragon's breath? I believe it's called. Just a little one.
Absolutely. I said. So that's 4 silver, please, for that one.
Oh, God, I'm trying to fleece us. Very well. And I'll give him the 4 silver.
Kobolds set the price on that one, I'm afraid. They're the only people that know how to make it. So
It's fine, I know. Thank you very much. If you could just see to the cheese boards and drinks. While we're at the bar, I'm just going to casually say to Eugene, Eugene, should we ask Aisling about the box that the Quasit mentioned? Do you think they're...
I did. I asked.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, good. And what is it? I didn't want to pry, you see.
Well, I'm not sure if we should really talk about it here.
Oh. Do you think Aisling would... Should I ask her, or is it a private thing?
I mean, getting information out of Aisling is not easy. I don't think she knows much more than she told me. So I can tell you what...
It's fine. I'll ask her when we go back. I mean, it's nothing to be worried about, is it? I was hoping for a more positive answer than that.
I'm not sure, but I would like to investigate it further.
Well, I guess we would have to ask her if you could investigate it further.
Well, she said I can investigate. Yeah. We had a little conversation. She told me what she knows, which is not a lot actually. Some kind of deal with some kind of entity. There's a box involved. It's missing pieces. It's sort of like a puzzle box. It's very interesting, but there's pieces missing.
You're telling me. Right. So, I'm slightly concerned about the word about a deal with an entity. That generally, that's never really something that turns out well for people. Why? Do you remember what the closet wanted with it? Why?
I believe the closet's true master is looking for the box, but I don't think we ever gleaned why that was, or if that is the person that Aisling made a deal with, or if that is someone else looking for the thing that Aisling made a deal with.
Right. Well. At least Aisling has spoken about it, so it's not a big secret, I assume.
Well, not between the three of us, but I really don't think we should expand that circle.
Very well. Very well. I shall keep it to myself. Apart from you two, obviously. Right. Shall we take the cheese platter back to Aisling before she eats someone else's food?
Oh, just wait. There were some things written on the box that I couldn't read. Maybe you could.
I'm happy to try.
Yeah, maybe you have a look and see if you like runes. What do you know about runes?
Well, I mean, my languages are somewhat limited, but I'm happy to have a look.
Okay. I think it's a good idea. I mean, 3 heads are better than 1, right?
On most occasions. Right, let's head back to okay. Aisling then, shall we?
And you do. Shortly as you are coming across, actually one of the serving girls, a halfling with a huge platter that's almost twice the size she is making her way through the crowds and deposits all your drinks and your food at the same time.
Good. There we go. Right, everyone.
That was bloody heavy. That was. A copper wouldn't hurt.
Oh, goodness. Right, I'm going to grumble and sort of rustle through my bag and find a copper, and I shall give her a copper or them a copper, and just say, right, thank you, good way now.
Pleasure, your old ship, and bounds off.
Rock's going to look slightly unnerved by that, but for no particular reason. Okay, right, everyone have what they need?
I'm happy.
Before Aisling digs in, Rock is going to sort of, with an unnecessary sleight of hand, nick some of the cheese from the platter.
Roll a sleight of hand.
My passive perception's high.
Just slightly terrified that Aisling will just bite my hand off.
Ashling doesn't share food.
I know. So sleight of hand. That's a 14. That's an 18.
Does that beat your passive?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fairly certain the staff have just shortchanged you this time round.
I mean, I'm not taking like half the platter, just a little handful of it. And I am going to just place it on the seat between myself and Eugene for pocket.
Oh.
You didn't see, none of you know that.
That's so cute.
I love that. Is Pocket about at the moment?
Yeah, I haven't dismissed him, so he's still hanging out.
It's just in case he wants it.
I think there's as you put your hand down on your lap at some point, there's a little tiny paw, like taps you in thanks, and then grabs a slice of cheese and disappears back into Eugene's coat.
Ashling,
Yeah.
first, can I just have a quick look around to make sure nobody's near us?
Sure,
anyone I could be concerned might overhear us.
Yeah, make a perception check for me.
Perception. That's an 8.
Nobody you can see that you think would be overhearing what you're trying to say or be interested. Everyone seems to be fairly much in their own drink, so.
Okay. I'm going to just Ashling. I'm going to do it as quietly as Rock can. I believe Eugene mentioned the closet and his interest in your box. Let me rephrase that. His interest in the box you carry.
Oh, this one. And I nearly take it out, but then I'm just like...
Remember what we talked about.
Yeah, that one.
I just wondered. Eugene has not told me what you have discussed, but I was just like, is it something we need to worry about? There was mention of an entity and a deal? This makes me slightly nervous.
Oh no, Alabaster's cool. Like, he's fine. He's the entity. He's. I mean, I've only actually seen him once, but he's always helped me out with stuff. He's never done anything bad, and the deal's just it's like a little thing. I help him out with some stuff. He lets me set stuff on fire. It all works quite nicely. No, with magic though, not just not arson.
That's a relief.
Yeah. It's just like he gives me, because I couldn't do any magic stuff before that.
Oh, and what exactly do you help him with?
Finding bits of the box.
Do you know to what end? What happens when you find all the pieces of said box?
I don't know that one just yet. But every time I find another bit, I'm able to do more stuff. So, works for me.
I mean, it might be worth asking at some point what happens at the end of this deal.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping to have a chat with him at some point, because, did any of you guys see when some of that magic that we got out the other day went into me?
I knew it. I knew something happened. I thought I was imagining it, but there was something.
What do you mean?
When we were getting all the bad out, it part of it, Alabaster was like, get it. And I was like, what? I don't want to touch that. That's bad. And he went, no, get it. And then I got it, and it went in me. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't grown an extra limb or anything, but I don't know what it's done.
Well, do you feel any different?
Yeah. Are you anything change?
I think I'm alright.
Interesting.
Is it Alabaster? I think, is it?
Yeah.
Yes. Did Alabaster say why you should take some of this magic that had completely corrupted and twisted a creature?
He said it was his. It was his, so he wanted it back. So I grabbed it, and I don't know how.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might be worth keeping an eye on. Anything that changes, just... I mean, I'm not saying that Alabaster would do anything that was
he's
toward, but
nice.
I don't know.
It's nice. His like where he lives is a bit rough. Like every time I've seen it, it's like I don't actually like go there. I like go there in my head, and every time it's like dusty. It's like dusty. There's a lot of ash and dust about. It's pretty grim. But
there is
apart from that, he seems fine.
There is a lot that happens in your head, isn't there?
Well,
but also
that's
simultaneously,
not what most
like
people
not
say.
a lot.
No, I've not had many
like
people
everything
say
and nothing at the same time.
Yeah.
That's how I imagine it.
Like, I'm good at linking stuff together, but then there's not a lot of stuff to link together, you know?
Well, aren't you two just fascinating?
Oh, thanks! And she starts scoffing cheese.
Rock is literally just going to sit back and sip his drink because he has absolutely no idea what to make of any of this.
Actually, I know I told you not to, brandish it around, but would you let Rock have a look at it?
Yeah. Can I do a little vague look around to see?
Of course,
because I'm trying to be good now. Is that a perception again?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Nice.
Look
That's
at
a
you
22.
thinking before you act.
22. I mean, there is someone who keeps looking over, and it's but it's not in a. They're trying to eavesdrop. They just keep looking over to see what Rock's doing, and there's a young, mousy-haired human in plate mail who every once in a while just kind of like leans over to see Rock, and is that. Kind of, and I think with the high perception roll that you just had, it's hero worship when you see it. And you've actually seen this young man before. I think you've seen Rock talk to him very briefly.
Ashling's not going to keep this to herself. She's going to be like, Rock, someone's checking you out.
What?
I point them out, and I'm like, they're checking you out.
Where are they?
Buy them a drink.
What? Which one?
That one with the little brown head.
Stop pointing! Don't put your hand.
She points.
I put my hands down, but then a mage hand comes up and starts pointing.
Oh, just stop it. I'll have a look. What? Why are they? Which one? Okay, I'm going to look. I'm going to subtly look. Now, don't point again.
I waft away the mage hand.
Okay, which one was it?
You see the character I've described, mousy-haired, plate mail, quite young. You've definitely talked to this one a couple of times. He's the enthusiastic yet not very capable adventurer who keeps going out. He's sitting with his half-elf friend. Both of them look a little tiny beat up, but not nearly as bad as the last couple of times you've seen them. And actually, this time they're sitting with a third figure who is a dark-skinned, dark-haired, with a big ball of tight curly hair, halfling, who is presently idly playing with a knife and just very, very quickly.
It's fine. They're adventurers. Yeah, I've seen them before. They're very enthusiastic, but they're not. I mean, they're not at our standard yet. It's fine. Right. So show me this box. I'll get close to Aisling so that nobody else can see what she's showing me.
Okay. And I get it out and I put it on the table. And I have, whilst I put it on the table, I have a quick question for Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I have an invocation that's Eyes of the Runekeeper, which means I can read all writing.
Oh.
Oh, cool.
Yes, but you've never used it on the
No.
puzzle box, have you?
And I was thinking, would it be possible for me to put it on the table and then all of a sudden start being able to read it and be like, oh!
I think because your mind is now focused on it and this new gift from Alabaster has taken hold, as you set it down, the words snap into place.
Okay.
Most of it feels like gibberish. It's odd characters here and there that don't really make a lot of sense, mostly because huge chunks of the puzzle box are missing. But what you can make out, it does say Alabaster. It says Realm of Dust and Shadow. And it says something about a key and a gateway.
Okay.
Is there any of it that I can read?
What languages does Rock speak?
Only Draconic, Elvish. And
It is neither of those languages, I'm afraid.
Okay. So Rock, I'm afraid I can't be of any help.
Damn it.
I am gonna, as I put it on the table, let out a little squeal because it makes me jump, the fact that I can suddenly read it. It's like, oh!
What? What's going on? Why are you squealing?
Can you see what that says?
No, we've been through this. I don't know what it
says.
says.
But like, okay, so it's just me then. It's like I can read bits of it.
What, and you couldn't before?
No. See, this is what I said. When I find more bits, when Alabaster gets more bits of the rocks, I get to do more cool stuff. That might be part of it. And it says something about, it's got his name on it, and it says something about a key, and that his realm is told you it was dusty. It even says dust. Like, it's got stuff on it, but I can't read all of it because it's got bits out of it, obviously.
Okay. Eugene, have you ever heard of in your magic readings, of anything called Alabaster? Any name ring a bell?
Would I have?
Make me either an Arcana or a History check.
Okay.
Or a Religion, if you're, but only if you're proficient in it.
No.
Nope.
Ooh, 20.
20, nice. Okay, so there is something you remember coming across, but it's one of those things like there are so many worlds and realms outside the material plane, and this is of course one of the foundations of magic, is knowing about this and knowing that you can draw magic from it, and that's how divine magic works, and natural magic draws it from the land beneath you, and arcane is somewhere in between. So you basically, as an arcanist, as a wizard, you bypass the rules for both of these by taking the essential echoes of what's left in the world by these two forces and then driving it home with rules and sigils and magic words and true names. Alabaster feels like it should be the ruler of one of these realms. Probably something to do with this dust and shadow that Aisling mentioned. But you're not exactly familiar with whether they're benevolent, whether they're malign, whether they're completely uninterested in humanity. And this connection with Aisling is hard to say because creatures from these dimensions and these places think so wildly different from the rest of you.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you can trust Alabaster or you know what Alabaster is up to is very, very hard to work out without spending any time directly with him.
Okay.
But it does sound like it's a lord of one of these realms.
I've not heard of him directly, but it does seem like he might be the ruler of this realm of dust and shadows. But
Well, that would make sense because he seems quite attached to it.
maybe something happened to it and he is trying to rebuild it.
It
Via
was pretty
Ashling.
busted last time I was there.
Maybe he's weakened. It's difficult to say what his intentions are at this point. Whether he means to harm Ashling once he gets what he wants.
What? Nah, I'll be fine.
These entities can be very unpredictable. I don't think we can really make any heads or tails of this right now. But Ashling, you will let us know if anything happens that worries you, or you're asked to do anything that you don't want to do, or you grow a third limb, perhaps. Or, you will let us know if anything changes. Yes.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I mean, Alabaster's
you can trust
not
us. We
quite...
will look after you.
I know. You guys got me back when I got kidnapped, so I trust you.
Yes. Don't do that again, will you?
Oh, what? Get kidnapped?
Yeah.
I mean, I did try and not get kidnapped. It wasn't
Perhaps
on
you
the
should try harder
agenda
next time.
for the day. Okay, Rock.
Anyway, eat your cheese, dear.
She eats it scornfully.
For about 2 mouthfuls until she forgets.
Yeah.
Amazing. Is there anything else that you guys would like to discuss or do before you turn in for your night?
I think Ashley's just going to wrap the box up again, put it away, and eat her cheese thoughtfully.
I think it is worth noting Alabaster has been very, very quiet since.
I know.
Since you guys rescued Myrr.
It's very rude.
Yeah, so he's gone very, very quiet. And I mean, it's not the first time he's done this. He just disappears off sometimes when he's busy.
What's he got to do? He's got nothing.
He's got to rearrange his dust.
And shadows.
And do shadows. Yeah, he's got to count shadows and rearrange his dust.
Oh no, I just have images of this all-powerful being just walking around with a hoover. Sucking up dust.
He's going to need an army of Roombas.
I think
Summon my
that's
dust
possible in
Oh,
this
see,
realm.
now you've uncovered my end game with Alabaster. See, there we go.
That's how we defeat him. Roombas. Sorted.
Before we sort of head off, or before we finish, Rock would like to would write a letter. Just scribble a very short sort of thing, and then he will hand that to the bar person to ask them please to make sure that this letter gets sent off.
He makes note of that and says, "Yeah, absolutely no problem. I'll the morning post comes out. Dietrich normally sorts that out, so I'll put it in his office."
Thank you very much.
Goes back
And
to-
I'll give them a copper.
That's fine. He takes it gratefully. Murrug tends to be, from what you understand, Murrug is quite a generous employer, but you know, bar staff are bar staff, and they still like a little extra on the side if they can get it. So, excellent. So yeah, you managed to finish your letter, probably with some interruptions from Ashling at points.
What you doing? What's that?
I am writing a letter.
Who? To who? All your friends are here. We're here.
Not all my friends.
Oh.
Anyway, just eat your food.
Okay.
You finish your letter, hand it over, and that interaction. And I think if there's nothing else you guys want to discuss or do, you can turn in for the night. If you haven't done so already, make sure you complete a long rest. And for our viewers, as I said at the end of the last episode, we did leveling up off screen this time. But if you guys just want to go around and tell them what you selected for your level 4. So
Who's gonna go first?
Yeah, go Charlie.
Okay, cool. It may come as a shock to some people, but she's actually very wise. So Aisling now has a pretty significant wisdom modifier, and she learnt some cool new spells as well.
I won't make
So
you
she's
list
got
those.
more spells. Nope, keeping them shush.
Keep them because they're a nice surprise.
Exactly.
Theo, what was Eugene's choice?
Well, in the polar opposite to Aisling, the boy be smart, but he is not wise. So he's got smarter, more intelligence, and some more spells.
Of which you will find out at some point. And finally, Rock. What did you manage to choose for Rock, Wayne?
Well, I'm sure no one will be surprised to hear that Rock is neither wise nor intelligent. However, he has a lot of charisma. And in fact, now he even has more charisma. So yes, and a couple of extra spells, because sadly I don't have a lot more spells, but a few extra things. And he's also not as squishy, which is a relief.
Yes, less squishiness all round.
Yeah.
Everybody can take at least one more hit.
Woohoo!
Yeah, probably.
So you wake up in your normal fashion the following morning. Do you guys get a room together or separate rooms? Or
Oh no, separate room.
You were way too quick to answer that question.
I mean,
You've met Rock, right?
to be ridiculous.
I feel like Aisling sheds as well.
Living with long-haired cats, that's just a nightmare. Dear. Awesome. So you kind of wake up at your normal time. Who do you think is the first person up and down for breakfast?
I think I might be up pretty damn early.
Awesome. You wander down. The bar is all set up for breakfast as normal. There is a few adventurers. That halfling rogue from the night before is busy piling the biggest bowl of oats and breads and cheeses that you've ever seen.
Nice.
And your passive perception is just high enough to notice that occasionally a hand slips a sausage into a pocket or something. And then she kind of just staggers over to the table where she gets up with a big grin and a fork that's just a little too big for her and starts shoveling.
I have a lot of time for this person. I think Aisling's annoyingly perky in the mornings as well.
Yeah.
That feels about right, yeah.
Yeah.
Who makes it up next?
Probably Rock.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't be down first, but he would, wait for a few people to be there before he makes an entrance.
People need to see him arrive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think it is starting to get a little busier as Rock comes down. There's a few different groups, a couple of people connecting with their regular parties or other people greeting each other, having not seen each other for a little bit. It's always very bustly in the Ogre's Rest, you've noticed. There's always something going on, people meeting up and that, much like the city itself. You can see Dietrich sitting down with that young group of adventurers that you saw last night, handing over some coin. They all look a bit cleaner and a bit more put together this morning. And I think, Aisling, from where you are, you overhear them talking about the lighthouse delivery going well, despite the fact that somebody had lured a rock down from the hills to that area for some reason.
Uh-oh.
You kind of, once you kind of hear that, you're like, okay, that might be explained why they all looked a little battered. Could have been you.
Yeah.
And I think,
And I say good morning to Rock as I see him with a mouthful of toast now. Morning!
Morning, Aisling. Can I have a coffee, please?
coffee is provided.
I'll sit near Aisling, but not so near that I can hear her chewing.
That's gonna be
finally, what time does Eugene manage to get up? Do they have to come and get him?
I think he probably he doesn't need to be fetched, but I think he probably comes quite a bit later than everyone, having stayed up too late reading by candlelight.
Oh,
He sort of wanders down yawning.
Morning.
morning.
I'm going to push the pot of coffee towards Eugene.
Yeah, he definitely needs coffee.
And you guys are settling into your breakfast, catching up and just chatting in general, when a large shadow looms over you, and you look up into the face of a very well-groomed ogre, wearing a beautifully embroidered waistcoat that is definitely designed to fit him, a white shirt that has clearly, although it's got a few stains on it, is actually of very nice quality, and the most comical pair of little tiny gold-rimmed spectacles pushed onto the end of his nose, and his big broad grin as he looks down to you. And I think all three of you guess instantaneously that this is Myrr, the actual ogre of the Ogre's Rest.
Yes, but I had met Myrr.
You've met Myrr. The other two have not, because he was asleep the first night and awake the rest of the time. I hear very good things about all three of you at the moment. How is it going? Are you all settling okay? And do you need anything?
Well, I could do with another pot of coffee. But of course we're doing well.
He kind of clicks his fingers, and one of the other staff hefts over this massive stool, like it's clearly designed for him. And he kind of pots down. Sorry to impose, but I have a few things I need to talk to you about.
Aisling, Eugene, this is Myrr.
God, hi.
Who is, in fact, the ogre that this here part is named after.
He nods.
That's amazing.
Aisling, the satyr, and kind of puts a massive finger across for you to wrap your hand around and shake. And Eugene Appleby I am familiar with. I've actually met you before, though you were a lot smaller then. We'll hand over his hand again, but it is nice to see you growing into such a fine lad. So, it has come to my attention that things got a little stickier than you anticipated on your last mission.
A little bit more kidnappy than I would have liked.
Yes, indeed, a little more kidnappy, as Aisling so appropriately describes.
Would you like to tell me what exactly happened? And I'm very curious. I don't like putting my adventurers into danger they should not be in.
Well, you two should probably tell them, because I wasn't conscious for a lot of it.
So for expedience, you guys don't have to retell everything for the last 3 episodes. But if you want to, if there's anything that you particularly want to leave out or draw attention to, so for Myrr, if you let me know.
I don't think I'm gonna be good and not mention anything to do with Alabaster. And I
we'll leave that part out.
Yeah,
I shoot Eugene a look every now and then to be like, "Am I doing good?"
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, Rock certainly wouldn't mention Alabaster at all, and would probably be careful about names with the river rats, but will mention about help from some organizations and basically just sort of make the story sound like a simple murder mystery turned into a kidnapping and a whole unearthing of a massive conspiracy, and that essentially if we hadn't done that, the city would be at peril and the entire sort of city could be in danger of these twisted creatures murdering everybody in the whole world, basically.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
Yeah.
Standard Tuesday.
Again, and kind of listens and nods in the right places and takes it all in and kind of glances over to Aisling in sympathy when you kind of get to the bit about like the kidnapping, like big dad energy from Myrr all the way through. Like there's from the way that he's talking at you, he kind of considers you all his children, like, and his responsibility to make sure that you are safe, or as safe as adventurers can get, considering you're mercenaries.
Yeah. I'm not sure sending your children out to do sort of high-risk adventures is very sort of parent-like.
It wouldn't be fun to see otherwise.
It would not. It'd be farm to see.
Oh god, psychic damage.
In this age. He lets you all finish. Well, I'll make sure that there is as the people inappropriate are aware that you stepped out and beyond. I have to go into the city today. Dietry tells me that other parties have taken an interest in what you did, and your reward has been shifted, being delivered by an other individual. Would you like to join me to come and meet the mayor?
Yes.
Cool.
I mean, I am free this morning to meet the mayor.
The mayor has requested your presence for a little ceremony to personally thank you and to make sure that your reward is appropriate to the effort that you put in.
We do have
stoked.
to report back to Corporal Tyre and the always charming Captain Grimm, appropriately named. So should we do that first, or will?
I don't think that's strictly necessary. I believe that the mayor has already taken the report on hand and will deal with that for you.
Oh, very well.
How long do you need to get ready?
I look at M because I'm ready.
What do I
Thumbs up.
wear? What do I wear to meet the mayor?
You're fine as you are, Eugene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Aisling's hopes of a fashion montage were dashed as quickly as they were raised.
Unless you particularly have the coin and to procure finements at this point.
It's what I'm wearing is okay. I think if you think it's okay. That's okay.
I mean, I never dress up for Rebecca, so I don't see why my adventurers should either. She knows what to do for this.
But you always look perfectly turned out, Narog, so I feel that's a high standard for us all to aim for.
Yes, I did want to ask where you got your exquisite waistcoat, actually.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, there's a tailor's. I will take you to them later. They're very, very good.
Yes,
and
that sounds
only people
great.
brave enough to clothe an ogre. He gets up and says, well, when you are ready, meet me in the foyer and I will have the cart brought round.
Oh.
Very well, we'll be with you shortly.
So he disappears off. As he goes past, you see Neve coming round, like chatting to one of the barmaids, and kind of has a hand on her shoulder, and the three of them stop and have a chat. You are left to your own devices.
Just so we're clear, we're not mentioning the thing, and we're not mentioning your friend in any of these discussions with the mayor or the authorities, yes?
It takes her a second, but Aisling eventually realises what you're talking about.
Yes, I
Alright,
think
yeah.
that's probably best, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is everyone ready to meet the mayor?
I
Yeah,
think
hold
so.
on. I scoff a few more bits of cheese and then I'm ready.
You've got a little. Oh no, never mind. It's fine. Never mind. Come along.
I am quite fuzzy, so like stuff gets stuck, you know.
I had noticed that. Yes. And I'm just going to make sure that I give an elaborate wave and bow to Neve as soon as I make eye contact with her.
She just quirks an eyebrow and gives a sort of casual wave back. And it goes back to whatever she's doing.
Oh, so adorable!
So I think after a little while you gather in the foyer. Murr is waiting. He's got a little bit of an overcoat on. Other than that, he looks pretty much the same. It's a bit of an old duster that has seen better days, and but looks like it's built from. It's built with fondness, so yeah, I think he's kept it because it reminds him of something from his past. The cart is brought round. It is the largest cart you've ever seen. Back of it is a bit like a carriage, but designed for someone much bigger, obviously, to sit in. But there is space for all of you as well. It isn't the fanciest thing, but it is painted in a like a bold green with gold field green, much like the front of the Ogre's Rest.
Much like the inside of my coat.
Yeah, that's your aesthetic.
And
I just have this image of us sitting in the cart now with him sitting on one side and the three of us sitting facing him on the chair in front of him like three children just looking up at him.
Yep.
one of the things that is most interesting about it is not pulled by draft forces, but by two large oxen.
Cool.
Two of the biggest oxen you have ever seen, which makes sense. The rider is a small female human who is dressed in the same uniform of the Ogre's Rest, and she clicks and off you go through the city. Your journey through the city is much quicker. You go past the Fogring as you were, but instead of turning into the Fogring as you would if you were walking, you go up the main road, straight towards the Citadel. The Citadel itself towers above most of the city, including the High Spire, on one of the highest points near the coast here. Its blue stone walls mark a boundary, and the inside, the strange twisting tower, which is rumoured to be older than the city itself. A mage tower where the city all grew from originally. The runway is well kept cobblestones. There are regular guards. And beneath the tower is a large manor painted in a similar fashion, but of much more modern build. Again, like most things in Cloudscairn, a mixture of different architectures. Some gnomish, some dwarvish, human, even some elf, and a little tiny bit that reminds you of Fae, Aisling, as mystical trees that just kind of seem to sing as the wind catches them. You are led up into a huge courtyard before the main manor house, and Murr gets out and helps each of you out one at a time, before you are greeted by 3 guards in the City Watch uniform, but much better quality than you've seen so far. Murr introduces you all, and the most finely regarded with a huge, with the tin hat that they are known for, but with a sweeping feather coming out the back, also in this rich blue, introduces herself as Commander Dre. She shakes all of your hands. It is a pleasure to meet all 3 of you. Thank you so much for your help with this investigation. I heard back from my people in the Fogring how instrumental you were, and I have to say it is a pleasure to meet such fine adventurers.
Well, you're very welcome. It is, of course, what we do as adventurers, as members of the Adventurers Guild. We are at our best, of course, when we are helping and being adventurers.
Ashley's sort of looking up at Rock as he does this, like, okay, if you say so.
You are led inside the building into a large antechamber, which has like a gentle green glass tiles on which is a ochre carpet that goes up into these marble steps that go further up. You're led round to the side and through large wooden doors into an antechamber which has lots of seats, all made with nice velvet cushions and the like. Lots of different styles though, heights and builds, obviously designed for hosting a variety of different people. At the edge of the room, looking very uncomfortable, are two familiar people. One of whom stands very tall, desperately trying to look as refined and comfortable as she can in the situation. The lizard folk Corporal Tyre. Next to her, as much more fidgety, looking scruffier, smaller and older. His helmet under one arm and scruffy tufts of hair is her Sergeant Grimm. As soon as you are led in, the two of them snap to attention in front of their commander, and then both look to you and nod. And Grimm, for once, smiles. He's never going to be a handsome man, but it is a genuine smile. And he with permission, Commander, and the commander nods. He steps forward. I'm an old-fashioned man. I believe you prove yourself by deeds, not by word. But I'm going to say this. I was wrong about all three of you. And I am proud that you helped us. I'm not too stubborn or big to say that. So thank you. Corporal here was wise to bring you on. And I'll remember that in future.
I'm just going to, while he's saying that, I'm going to look directly at Corporal Tyre and give a very obvious look that says, what the hell?
She doesn't move, but there is a sort of a tick in one eye where I think this has caught her by surprise as well.
Well, that's very kind of you to say.
Nice.
And I have to say that's very, very magnanimous of you to say that. Thank you.
Just say as I see it. Thank you, Rock, Aisling, and Eugene.
Well, I mean, we couldn't have done it.
You're welcome.
Eugene's knowledge, and Aisling put herself directly in danger. For Cloud's care, having just arrived here, they are most exceptional adventurers. I think you'll find.
Tyre, you are all definite pinnacles of your profession.
Well, of course.
And she gives Aisling and Eugene a quick nod whilst obviously Rock flusters a little bit. The commander motions to off to one side. Please take a seat. The mayor will not keep you long. She's just in with another representative at the moment. Corporal, Sergeant, with me, please. And they snap to attention and follow her to one side of the other side of the room. Morag pulls up the biggest chair that he can, which is a huge elephant-footed wooden chair with what looks like tusks carved into the side of it. I'm always very fond of this one. It's very comfortable.
It's very grand. I mean, it suits you very well.
Well, if you can't hide in a room, you might as well have everybody look at you anyway.
That's what I keep saying.
I can't imagine there are many places, many rooms in which you can hide, Marog.
And his response is just a big grin as he sort of settles in and kind of. You're not entirely certain whether he's dozing or just listening, but he's very sort of almost immediately.
I love Marog. He's so chill.
What do the three of you do, Weiss?
Rock is going to find a chair nearby where we are all sitting and sit in a very kind of like, oh, I come here all the time kind of way, kind of cross-legged, sort of scarf flicked around over his shoulder, kind of arm on the back of the chair, kind of like, oh yeah, this old thing. But very, very carefully posed, and will hold that pose without virtually flinching until someone notices.
I'll have a performance check for that pose. I think that's fair. Let's roll some dice. Let's tell some stories.
Right, performance check. Okay.
Let's do some D&D.
15.
15. It's a fairly convincing casual sit. Only the most observant would be able to point out that you are totally posing.
Or anyone who's ever met me.
Aisling has pretty high insight.
I think Aisling is getting the impression by now. Yeah. Aisling, there are chairs specifically designed for someone with digitigrade legs like yourself to make you more comfortable.
Oh my god. Damn. Well, I'm gonna immediately look at it and be like, it's a bit weird, and then I'm gonna sit on it and be like, oh my god, this is so comfy.
And you guys notice it has specifically been designed so that she can sit with the back of her legs not rubbing against any of the chair legs or anything along those lines.
Look at it! Look! I can fit my weird legs in it.
Don't make a fuss.
This is cool. Do you reckon? Can I take it with us?
No. I'm very clear on that one. You cannot take it with you.
God, you square. All right, fine.
Eugene, do you do anything in particular, or are you waiting patiently?
I think Eugene's feeling a little bit awkward. He's trying to remain casual. I think he kind of is looking at Rock and seeing what Rock is doing and trying to emulate the casual sit, but he's not really sure how to sit. Like, he doesn't really know how to sit in a chair anyway, but like so he's kind of adjusting.
Like, act natural.
Yes, I love that visual. And I think it's at this point where about the third time that Eugene has nearly slipped off the arm of his selected chair, emulating Rock, that the doors at the end of the room open, and a tall woman with silvery white hair and gold eyes walks in, flanked by a tiny humanoid that initially you think is a gnome until she gets a bit closer and you realise her ears are just a little bit too long, and there's a little fur line that goes up to the top of her head, and there are little spines that come out of her hair, and little tiny butterfly wings that are poking through the back of her robes, as you spot a fairy. The other side of this woman is a very tall Goliath with deep blue tattoos, who is keeping a pace and very grim. The tall woman with the silver hair turns, shakes hands with the Goliath, and shows him the way out, where one of the servants, who's off to one side, just peels off and just guides him out. There is a momentary exchange between her and the small woman, with the hedgehog features. And then this woman sort of turns and kind of smiles and nods, and then wanders towards you slowly. A big grin on her tiny little face.
I immediately bat Rock's arm and I'm like, no, Faith!
Yeah, I see that. Is that the one of your lot? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she actually makes a beeline straight for Aisling.
Yeah!
Before she leaves. Hello, dear.
Oh my god, hi!
How are you finding the city?
So far it's been alright. I was worried, right? Like, you must have been a bit worried. I was worried it was going to be a bit of an icy reception. So far, it's been alright. How have you found it?
Well, I've lived here my whole life. I've worked very hard to make sure it's welcoming for our kind. Though I hear very good things about you, young Aisling.
Really? You know who I am?
She holds out a small hand. I am Auntie Needles, and if the whim should take you, come and find me in the Fae Enclave sometime. I'd love to have a cup of tea and a chat and see what we can do for one another.
Oh, yeah. Great idea. Yes, I will definitely. 100%. Hi, Auntie Needles.
And she shakes your hand and she goes, and these must be your companions? Don't stop me. I'm good at this. Rock, named for the bird, but looks like the dragon.
At your service. Auntie Needles, was it?
And she smiles and nods.
I will bow and take her hand and gently kiss her hand.
None of that. She goes and she just pinches your cheek. I'm an auntie.
He's
not a
so
lady.
extra.
And she kind of wanders over and she goes, and this must be the young Appleby.
That's me.
I knew your mum when she was young. And she is quite the character, and I can see just a little touch of her in you. That's a good thing too. Because your father's fun, but he's not exactly the most reliable person on the planet, let's be honest.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, come by any time. You're very welcome. If I'm not in, my people will make sure that you are taken care of. You are always welcome.
Thank you, Auntie Needles.
And she looks over and says, Rebecca, I shall take my leave. Thank you for taking part in all of this. And the tall woman just waves very gently where she's talking to the commander. And Auntie Needles gently hovers off.
I, grab Rock and Eugene, because I'm assuming they're sitting either side of me, and I'm like, I love her.
Yeah, we're going to go for tea, right? That sounds cool. I like tea.
She's very lovely. She's very, very lovely. But I'm going to just whisper to them and just go, she strikes me as the kind of person that has quite a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah, and we have to hear all of them.
I mean,
all in good time.
It's no secret to Aisling because she grew up in a Fae enclave. She's not unfamiliar with the way the Fae conduct themselves. If a Fae has a name like Auntie, Uncle, or Nan, they are old and are well regarded in Fae circles.
Is Aisling able to estimate maybe the age of Auntie Needles?
Make a history check with advantage.
Nice.
Because it's your jam.
Well, it's lucky it's with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
11?
11? Hard to say because different types of Fae live different lengths of life, but a good couple of centuries, you would imagine.
Damn. Okay. I'm going to keep that to myself because that's rude.
Mm-hmm. That's a Fae thing. If she offers it, that's different. But no, yeah, mortals don't need to know.
No.
So you are left sort of waiting for a second as the mayor finishes talking to the commander, and then the two ladies And the commander is a big woman, but she seems quite, the mayor has a good half head on her. And the two of them come over. The mayor sort of smiles and bows. I am Rebecca Ryder. I have the good fortune of being the mayor of Cloud's Cairn. And to hear that you have been instrumental in helping the City Watch solve a particularly grisly set of murders.
It's very lovely to meet you, and I shall bow. And then I shall. And this is Aisling, young Aisling, who and young Eugene, who only arrived but a day ago and have already excelled in their adventuring.
It's my 4th day as an adventurer.
Really? And to take on such... Oh, that is impressive. Eugene, yes. Well, there's a small ceremony that I would like you all to be part of, to witness. And then I believe we need to sort you out some appropriate rewards. And there's something I would like to discuss with the 3 of you. If that is okay.
Very well. I'm just going to give a kind of cursory glance at Myrr to see if, almost to kind of say, is that okay?
Myrr is kind of leaning back in his chair, and he kind of just gives you a very gentle nod. Direct contracts from the mayor's office are a fairly regular thing. It's one of the reasons I came down to ensure that the guild's rules are being followed. Not that Rebecca ever would. He just smiles his big toothy grin, and Rebecca just kind of goes, Myrr and I have been working together far too long for me to believe that I can get one over on him in that regard. Right, so if you'd like to follow me, and you notice the troops have kind of formed a line and flanking you ever so slightly, and all of you make your way to another antechamber, which is obviously an official room. The mayor's stand, and there are a number of public stands, and then before that there are where councillors and representatives will sit. At the moment, it is largely empty, bar Auntie Needles, who's sitting there, the Goliath in question, who is casually sort of sharpening a knife, even though he probably shouldn't be, and 2 humans, neither of which you have seen before. The mayor takes her stand at the far end of the chamber. You're all directed to sit in one of the public benches, but at the front. And the corporal, the sergeant, and the commander all walk to in front of the mayor. And the mayor kind of looks you over and she goes, "Thank you all for agreeing to bear witness to this exchange. It has come to my attention that one of my officers in the Fogring has been operating above and beyond duty for a number of years now. And it is in agreement with her supervising officer and the commander in charge," the commander gives a nod, "that they are long past due a promotion and a commendation. It is, as understood, my responsibility to oversee the city's watch in general with the commander's assistance, but it is my pleasure to offer Corporal Tyree the rank of sergeant."
Totally inappropriately, Rock immediately claps.
Eugene thinks he should be clapping too, so just...
I think there's a sort of a silence and sort of a chuckle. You hear a chuckle from Auntie Needles, who's just kind of beaming at the pair of you, and then joins in herself.
I think Rock would start clapping, and then as soon as he realizes it's wrong, would kind of stop and kind of hush Eugene as if Eugene had done something wrong.
Oh, poor Eugene.
Don't clap now. Don't clap now. It's fine.
It's kind of like there's just this ripple of chuckles and things like that. The only person who looks slightly awkward about all this is Tyre herself, who clearly is not comfortable in a public setting like this. Just wants to do her job, but she's bearing up really well. Sergeant Grimm, if you would like to say a few words. Sergeant Grimm steps forward and kind of turns and smiles, that same sort of like slightly awkward smile at Tyre. I've had the pleasure of working with a few fine officers in my time. You are one of the finest. Diligent, smart, resourceful, and willing to stand up for the things you believe in. You're going to make a fantastic sergeant, and I am proud to have been your commanding officer. And he steps back.
I'm going to just whisper to Eugene. Has someone cast a spell on him?
That wasn't me.
Amazing. The commander steps forward and presents Tyre with new stripes, which she then pins to Tyre's jerking over her armour. Sergeant Grimm has agreed to move on to his next project, and you will now be Sergeant of the Fogring branch, reporting directly to Lieutenant Ears. Tyre nods, and there's a half smile. I will do everything in my power to make sure the Fogring is protected. And that's it. As a round of applause around.
I'm going to elbow Eugene. Now.
And slowly they all stand up and make their way outside. As she goes past, Tyre just kind of stops and she goes, leans over the bar and sort of says, "None of this would have happened without your help. I thank you. And if you ever need help from us in the Watch, you are always welcome in the Fogring."
Oh, stop it.
And wanders out. Leaving the three of you, Marug and the Myrr. Marug kind of gets up, wanders around, pulls a couple of big chairs into the centre where there's the desk where the normally you would probably see the clerks who keep record sitting. The Myrr comes down and sits opposite him, and there's 3 chairs for you to take up as well. Please come and sit.
Is there a special goat chair?
Yeah, I think that they're savvy enough to have one in here as well.
Nice.
She motions for you all to sit. I think this close, you probably can see her in more detail than you have been up to at this point. And you actually I actually have a perception check off of all 3 of you.
Okie dokie. 25.
25, nice.
12.
12, okie dokie. Eugene?
6.
6, amazing. Aisling is the only person who really notices this. There is a slight shimmer to her skin, but not like she's got like a bronzer or something on like that. Her skin literally slightly sparkles.
Do I know what that means?
She's a vampire.
No!
She's a really shit vampire.
She is the... you're not entirely certain, because I don't think that Aisling would have encountered a person like this. She appears to be human at first glance, but there is something clearly not human about her.
I feel like Aisling pockets that in her brain for later to ask Eugene, about the inevitable book that Eugene has read about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eugene just in the moment was too distracted by some other things to notice.
There's a lot going on, to be fair, for Eugene right now. Right, well, I'm going to be very direct about this. I could do with an adventurer's help. Actually, just after you all arrived, something very strange happened just at the edges of the air, the space around our islands that are our responsibility. Very, very close to the Mystery Empire. You all are aware that the Sky Shield occasionally has kept islands from joining us up here, and that on occasion an island will appear, slowly working its way through the Sky Shield and joining us up. The twins, actually, and she motions to Eugene, didn't actually exist here until about 150 years ago. And then they slowly appeared and joined the rest of us at the height of their ascension. Such a thing would fall under our normal claim. We would send people over just to see what we could find. I'm under the impression that Aisling, you have done some archaeological research for us in the past for the Adventurers Guild.
Yeah, I'm cartographer, so I've mapped quite a lot of these newer islands.
Just to make sure they're safe, there's nothing from the old world that is a danger, and then allow people to settle, farm, build homes, expand from there. We've had something very unusual happen in this regard. A new island appearing on the borders of the Mystery Empire, technically still in our space, so we get first digs at it, but the nature of how it appeared and how it is behaving are slightly unusual.
In what way?
Well, she kind of fishes into a pouch at her belt, and she goes, and she pops it down and taps it once, and a illusion appears before you. And you see before you a large diamond-shaped island. Kind of goes up and kind of comes back in at the top, but you can't see it perfectly because it is obscured by this swirling eldritch mist that goes around it. These are the images taken by a captain on a vessel that first encountered it, came straight back, a good friend of mine. His claim was that this literally appeared out of nowhere. Not floating up slowly, wasn't there, and then just was. And this strange mist at the top here originally covered the whole island and was what brought it back into place. We are slightly concerned by this, of course, but as you know, my militia is limited, and the amount of power I can exert on this is tricky politically. If I send forces over there, the Mystery Empire will take it as an excuse to interfere. So I am asking the Adventurers Guild to send some competent groups of people over to map the island. Your names came up first. If this is of interest to you, there will be a substantial reward in relation to it. I am willing to offer you 500 gold pieces.
I'm not subtle about my surprise at this. This is in character.
I don't think any of us are. Well, I mean, Aisling is a very experienced cartographer, so to map it out would make sense. Can I
I've not found a new place in ages. Yes, I want to do it. Yeah.
The mist that was surrounding it and then is dissipating. should we not wait till it all goes away, and then perhaps it would be easier?
Under normal circumstances, I would agree with you, Rock. However, the Mystrium Empire are known for snatching resources before they are claimed.
Yes. Aren't they just? Do you think it's dangerous?
She kind of looks at Marag. Honestly, I wouldn't be hiring adventurers if I thought it was safe.
Yes, I suppose that's a good point.
But you have shown yourself capable with some very strange events. And I feel like you are the right people. She kind of stops, and there's almost like a moment where she seems to be listening elsewhere. No, you're definitely the right people for this.
Well, I mean, of course we are. We have a reputation for being successful adventurers. I mean, we have virtually saved the city already.
I feel like I look at Eugene, I'm just like, do we?
When exactly would you want us to leave to investigate this? Actually, that's a very good point. How exactly would we get to investigate said island?
We have a ship waiting to take you. Ready already. If you say yes. If not, we would contract other adventurers. There are some other groups we would like to talk to.
There's nobody. Could I have a quick word with my companions?
Of course, she said, and she kind of she motions to, like, you can. There's a antechamber off to one side that you can use if you want privacy.
I'm going to walk that way, and then look back at Eugene and Aisling and go, "Oh, come on!"
Oh, right.
Oh, right, yeah, us. We're the companion. Okay, yeah.
And it's worth noting at this point that Marag has been very quiet, and she's very, very intently looking and listening to all of you.
I thought we should probably just have a little huddle round. Are we all in favour of taking this?
This sounds so fun. Yes.
There's going to be a sky ship. We've got a sky ship.
I know.
I mean,
and I get to map a new island.
I know,
cool.
It sounds so cool. I mean, it's
It also sounds a little dangerous. Also.
Yeah, but whatever.
I mean,
we've been kidnapped and possessed and all sorts of mad
Well,
crap
you've
so
been
far.
kidnapped. I haven't.
Yeah. I can tell you now, not that bad.
I mean, if we're talking about, we went to investigate a few rats and ended up with an entire entity that was. So I think we can't really tell how dangerous it's going, but it's very exciting, and airships are very they're a lot of fun.
It
They're
does seem
so
like
cool.
a mystery, and I do love a mystery.
I had noticed that about you, yes.
The island was like a big diamond. It was so pretty. Yes, we have to do this. I mean,
Right.
yes, we
Okay,
have to
well,
do this.
let's confirm that we are willing then. Although do try not to get kidnapped this time, Aisling. And I shall walk back towards where we were.
Aisling's mumbling to herself as she walks like victim blaming bastard.
I would like to also just try and catch Marog's eye as we go past, and just kind of give him a kind of quizzical look as a like.
I think he kind of smiles as you approach. This is entirely up to you. My presence here is to make sure that you are being treated fairly, and that this does not go outside the guild's neutrality, or our remit, what we are and are not allowed to involve ourselves with. I have looked over what Rebecca has put forward, and she has provided everything available, and as far as I am concerned, we are covered. It is entirely up to you. It sounds like a generous offer and an exciting adventure. Were I 2 centuries younger, I'd be joining you.
Please. You're being modest now, Arog. Madam Mayor, my companions and I would be happy to help you out in your hour of need to investigate this new island.
That is a relief to hear, Rock. Thank you, all of you. I have to say, I am apprehensive about what this means, but it could be something incredibly positive for Cloud's Cairn. More land is always good, as you know. Resources are always thin. We do well here, better than most, but we're not going to say no if we have more farmland. Take your time. Get yourselves ready with anything you need. When would you like to depart? I would recommend within the next 24 hours, but I cannot press upon that.
I don't have much going on.
I'm sure we can arrange that. Two questions. Has an island like this ever just, popped up before?
Not in my lifetime.
Without sort of rising, no?
No, not in my lifetime, and not in any of the records our sages or scholars could find.
Ah, so that's a little concerning. And the second question is, will we have supplies made, provisions for us?
And she smiles. I think standardly for missions like this, we'll ensure that you have a week's worth of rations available to you. Obviously, the ship will be fully provisioned and crewed. You will defer to the captain, obviously, whilst on his vessel.
Of course.
But he knows why he is doing what he's doing. I can arrange for potions of healing. Would that be of interest?
I think that would probably be something that may well be necessary.
I'll fall over a lot.
she smiles. I'll make sure that the Alchemist Guild provide you with three such things on your vessel.
That's very kind of you, thank you.
Thank you.
Also, we need to see to your reward, she says. I believe that 150 gold was offered to the three of you for partaking in this mystery. Am I right?
I have to check my notes. Is she right?
I remember it being 100.
Are we being shafted here?
I don't believe so. No. I think 100. I think it was 100 originally, so she might be being generous.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, no, that's the wrong one.
It's been a hot minute, and I really need to start writing these things down better.
My notes are crap.
I'm going to say yes, because 150 is actually quite a lot of gold at your level.
Yeah, it is.
So she secures a small box with the seal of Cloud's Cairn on the front, at the top of it, and she deposits it in front of you. I think probably Rock, because I think Rock's just been a bit more forthright than
Rock's the adult.
Obviously, you divide this however you feel, but there is a little extra something for say thank you from me.
So how much have we got?
You have 150 gold. If you open it up, there's 150 gold. And there are 2 gems in there. One of which you instantaneously recognize as a Gem of Escape, which is one you saw before. If one of you smashes it on the ground, everybody in a 5-foot radius will be sent back to the entrance of wherever they...
Oh, that one. Yeah.
I love that it's like a magician's smoke bomb, where you're just like, and you disappear.
Yeah. The other thing is a small gem that seems to radiate a little tiny bit of heat when you touch it, and kind of you can see like a flame flickering in it.
Ooh.
What's that?
What do I know what it is?
Make an Arcana check, or you can just ask the mayor.
Actually, I will just ask the mayor. Well, this is very. What is this?
That is a small fire elemental. Use that carefully and wisely. When you smash that crystal, a fire elemental will join you as if summoned and serve the user in that capacity. But I warn you, you must maintain a good concentration of the spell because fire is unpredictable at the best of times.
That's
amazing.
cool.
Eugene's very interested in that.
I get to put that down very, very carefully. And then I think we just split the money 3 ways.
Yeah.
Makes
Yep.
fair.
So
cool. And then I will just put the 2 gems in a bag and we can decide who keeps each one later.
Yeah.
So to update where you are at the moment, you have just taken a contract on 500 gold coins to investigate a island, ensure it is safe for people to land there and start investigating properly. So you're the advanced party.
Sounds good.
Yeah. And kind of as she stands up, she goes, "Of course, should you bring back maps?" And she particularly looks at Aisling and other information about the island. I'm certain our Cartographers Guild and other parties would be very interested.
I'm sorry. What guild?
Cartographers Guild. Are you not a
Do you
member?
have one here?
Of course.
Yeah, I didn't know you had one here.
Oh well, I mean, she goes. I mean, you must appreciate that any skyship maneuvering is very dangerous and very difficult. So regular cartography is incredibly important.
Oh, okay, right.
Aisling's list of places that she wants to visit is growing.
Yeah. Not
I
many of them are actual places either. A lot of them are just like cool tree, weird river.
I love that. Creepy building.
Yeah.
I'm just going to whisper to Aisling and just say, they do maps and things, but they're very boring people. The Adventurers Guild is way more interesting.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just in case she had any ideas of jumping ship.
And with that, your audience with the mayor is over. She politely leads you outside of the chambers, where you are escorted out by members of staff, and back to Marog's carriage. Do you want to go anywhere in the city, or would you like to just come back with me?
I'm alright.
Eugene?
I'm good. We can just go back. I'm buzzing.
I did really want to visit the tailor.
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
We
you
have
did.
pocket money now.
I
You did
think
say
we
you
could
would
be
take us.
Amazing.
Theo, your laugh.
This feels like a really good natural place for us to have a little bit of a break, so that we can all use the facilities, get ourselves a drink, have a big old stretch. We recommend you guys do the same. Thank you so much, all of you who are with us at the moment. We will be back in about 10 minutes, so about 5 to maybe ever so slightly later. If you are around, Wayne has updated our intermission. There's new things in there, new exciting people that we love, things that we care about, artists that we love, and some amazing art from some of our wonderful players has been updated. So definitely worth a look. We will be back in 10 minutes. See you then.
See you in a bit.
Chris, is the gem of escape?
Back in. Oh, sorry. Caught Wayne right at the wrong moment there. sorry, Hanyo. I literally was pressing the button as you asked me.
It's fine. It is no problem.
We're back! Hello!
Yay!
Welcome back, guys.
Hi.
I hope you all had something to drink and you stretched. Make sure you stretch. Welcome back to the second half of our very chilled out episode. In the first part of today's episode, our trio of intrepid adventurers, try saying that 3 times fast, met with the mayor of all people, who had shown a personal interest and has offered them a new contract to go and investigate a large island that suddenly appeared in Cloudcairn's airspace. 3 of them are now on the carriage on their way back to their part of the city, where Eugene has asked a quick visit to the tailor who does all of Marug's clothing. Is there anything you guys want to discuss with Marug whilst you are in the cart? It's a good opportunity because nobody can really listen in at the moment.
I will grab a second with him and just say, Marog, is there anything else we should know about this? I assume the mayor can only say so much, but is there anything we should be aware of? I'm just surprised the mayor has got involved in something quite like this.
That is a very sensible way to look at it, Rock. Yes. It is likely you are not going to be the only ones there. The Empire is very close, and if they have an inkling that they might be able to grab this before we do, they will have people there. So watch your backs when you are out there. Technically, it's in our space, but technically doesn't come into it when you're dealing with the Empire sometimes.
Good. Well, that's good to know.
However, if their official Imperial channels are caught on the island, they would be in very sticky waters with the other 2 large nations, particularly if we could prove it. They don't want to cause friction at the moment. There's a lasting peace with Ashur and the other nations, so not causing conflict is probably in their interest. It's certainly in ours. But remember, you have the right to be there. They do not. You are there representing us and the island of Cloudcairn. They should not be there.
It's very, very, very good to know.
Other than that, I can't tell you anything, unfortunately. No one having been there, we can't really tell you what to expect.
Do you know who the captain was that reported back about this, who had an encounter with it?
I do, yes. Have you heard of the Swallow's Envy?
Yes, it was that not the ship that you arrived on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It was Captain Leferick that reported it, a old friend of the mayor's.
Yeah. Oh, well, then you two should be quite comfortable on our voyage over there.
Oh, I'm not entirely certain it's Captain Leferick that will be taking you out.
I see. But it is the Swallow's Envy, no?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
You actually kind of look through the papers that the mayor handed him. You will be going on the his eyebrows kind of shoot up. The Dragonfly. I did not even know that the Dragonfly was in dock. How interesting.
You know of this ship?
Yes. the captain is an old friend of mine and of your father, actually. He kind of nods to Eugene. Bill the Corsair.
Would I have ever met him? Do you
You
think?
haven't met Bill the Corsair, but I think your father would have mentioned him
Okay.
as being a bit of a... how do I describe... rough around the edges is probably the best way to describe Bill. Willing to do things that other Sky Captains may not necessarily want to do.
Okay. Is he a trustworthy sort then, I guess?
Count your fingers after you shake hands with him, but he is at least on our side.
Right.
Okay, sounds fine.
All in the line of adventuring.
And it's about this time that you guys pull up outside a run of shops, different things, bakeries, a coffee shop, haberdashers, a tailor's, which is obviously where you're going, and a couple of bookshops, and a small oddities shop, which is
Bookshops, you say?
bookshop and an oddities shop as well.
Eugene, tailor, bookshop, tailor, bookshop, tailor, bookshop.
Which first? We have time for both, right?
Well,
No, only one. You must choose only
No!
The other will be destroyed.
they only exist in flux at the same point. Whichever one you go in, the other one vanishes from this universe forever.
Yep. And everyone forgets it exists.
To appear in a future campaign.
Oh, plot twist.
Right, I send Pocket into the bookshop.
The
With a
oddity shop
list.
vanishes.
List.
You cheat. Anyway.
Yes, so Mara pulls up and goes, we have a little time. I cannot be out all afternoon. There are things that I should attend to, and my daughter will get irate if I am out on business all day. She knows. She's sharp, that lass.
Oh, you're always doing work things. Just relax a bit. She can take care of the place. She's very, very efficient.
Oh, I know that, but you have to put your face in every once in a while or she loses her temper with you.
Yeah, she tends to lose her temper with me when I do put my face in. Right, Eugene, what are we buying you to make you look all fancy?
Well, and he looks a little embarrassed, but I had rather have my heart set on a hat, a wizard's hat. I know
Yes,
it's silly, but I
Eugene.
just really like one.
No, we're going to get you the biggest and best and sparkliest one.
Officially, Murrah leans in. You shouldn't have an official wizard's hat unless you are a part of the School of Shadows in this region. However, I happen to know this haberdasher specials in magic hats that are particular to other magic users. He kind of gives you a wink. That would not offend.
I mean, they can't have a monopoly on hats that look a certain shape. Don't be ridiculous. Eugene can get what he wants.
I mean, Rock, your accent marks you from the Empire. You would, of all people, must understand that the hats are very important to certain people.
Oh, yes, lots of pomp and ceremony is important to some people, but it doesn't matter. That's why we're adventurers, because we make our own adventure and our own rules.
Well, we can certainly get Eugene a hat.
Yay.
There is actually a haberdasher there, and there is the tailor next door as well. So it's up to you which you would like to try first.
Let's get you a hat.
Yeah, let's go to the haberdasher.
Cool. So the haberdasher is run by a middle-aged human woman who has kind of very neatly dressed, like very sort of utilitarian sort of gear, like an apron with pins all the way through it and things like that. Her hair's all up and out of the way, and she's currently marking out a pattern and behind her is a wall of hats of most types of kind, designed for lots of different head shapes, size of people, those with horns and those without.
Oh my god.
Even some particular ones that are of interest that kind of come out a little further and have like a natural guard, which underneath it says gem folk only.
This is the coolest shop ever.
Eugene's just going to kind of be a little overwhelmed to start with and just kind of stare at the wall.
Is there a counter?
There is a counter, yes, and she's standing behind it. She kind of smiles at you.
Is there a bell?
There is a bell. Do you want the rest of these negotiations to be at disadvantage?
Please don't ruin my hat.
Okay, I won't ring the bell, but
it does feel like a very rock move, to be fair. So I'm certainly not going to stop you from doing it. But
no, I won't sort of ring the bell to annoy her. But I will walk up to the counter as Eugene is a little hesitant, and I will say, "Good afternoon. Are you the proprietor of this magnificent haberdashery?"
Well, I own the shop. Yes, love.
Of course you do. I could tell with one look that you were clearly a successful businesswoman.
She smiles again. And what can I have you fitted for?
My name is Rock, and this is my friend Eugene, who is after a particular and rather impressive head adornment. I wondered if you would be so kind as to help us find something that is suitable of his station as an exceptional adventurer and magic user.
She gives Eugene a look up and down, not in a sort of like, oh my god, in a interesting. Like she measures you. She kind of like, and she like you can see her fingers kind of doing kind of figures in her head and things like that, and she kind of. How old are you? How old are you, young boy?
21.
So you've finished growing, you would say? She goes, forgive my ignorance, half elves are harder to work out because obviously half elf, half human, I'm guessing, yes. You grow at slightly different rates, and I just want to make sure you're not going to get much bigger.
I'm pretty sure my head stopped growing.
That's fair enough. Is this your normal attire?
Yes.
Brilliant choice of colours, bold but not overstated. She kind of pulls out some fabric and puts it down, and she kind of, come here. So she goes, we can do something that's complementary in a similar shade to what you're wearing, or we can do something that contrasts to really draw attention.
I do.
Sorry.
Hello, Hiccup.
Hi, Hiccup.
I am rather fond of purple. So I think, and I'm not too fond. I mean, I'd like to look the part, but I don't like too many eyes on me, if you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean, young man. She kind of, if you'd like to lean forward for a second, and she just pulls out a tape measure almost out of nowhere. And you're not entirely certain, but you think you hear a faint pop as she does. And she just kind of gently measures your head, kind of like just round the edges and just kind of the depth to your ears and things like that. I might have something already ready for you. As a magic user, do you find that you have a problem keeping all your goods and your materials to hand?
Well, I mean, I sort of have this belt, but other than that, it's a lot of fumbling in pockets.
And she kind of disappears. She kind of leans back and says, hold 1 second. And Myrr, please stop hovering in the doorway. Come in or go out. It's like ogres are not Easy to hide, and everyone can see you anyway. And
Yeah, you're not subtle, babe.
Myrr just kind of leans and goes, to be fair, there's not enough room for me and my friends at the same time anyway. And kind of like wonders, I will be on the cart. I have just got some licorice.
While she's in wherever she is looking for stuff, whatever, I'm going to go over to the wall of hats and I'm going to start trying on ridiculous hats.
Absolutely.
I think Aisling joins you because it looks hilarious.
I was going to say, I'm going to be doing that. Aisling, look at this one. And I'm going to put like an enormous fascinator on with like feathers that wrap round. And I'm just going to...
God, you look amazing!
I'm just going to keep trying on stupid hats like that.
What about this one? Look, what about this one? And it's like 8 foot tall.
Oh, that's amazing. I think you could actually hide Eugene in that hat. And try this
Put
one.
it right in it!
I will just continue to do that while I am in the shop.
And there are hats of all sorts of shapes and sizes and functionality and stuff as well.
I feel like I accidentally put one horn through one at some point. And I'm like, oh, was that supposed to have a... Alright.
Put it back. Put it back.
Hide it behind.
I'll turn it round so you can't see the hole.
Put a feather on it.
She comes back and she has a purple hat, slightly darker than the purple you are wearing, with a ever so slightly lighter purple stars embroidered into the outer edge of it. How peaky do you want it? How much of a point do you want?
Oh, quite pointy.
Yeah, quite pointy. Has a long point, but it kind of gently settles back in a sort of casual, I don't really care sort of way. A broad brim, but not too broad as to kind of stop you from being able to see anything. And it will sit, and she kind of like looks at you and she goes, just had to make some adjustments, but let's have a quick look. And she pops it on your head and it just kind of sits just nicely, and you can tilt it ever so slightly backwards. She goes, oh, I am good. I am so good. Because
Oh my god, Eugene, it's perfect.
How does it look?
Turn around and you tell me, how does it look?
What do you guys think? How does it look?
Oh, it's so perfect with your outfit.
It's very impressive, I have to say. It does give you a certain gravitas, I think.
I'm assuming there's a mirror I can look in.
There is.
I'm
yes.
getting right up in it behind you, looking at all the embroidery, like, whoa.
Yeah. And
Aisling, personal space.
Oh yeah, but it. Okay.
And I mean, it's up to you, really. I mean, it's your character's look. How does it look?
I think it's precisely what Eugene had in mind, and yes, he is very pleased with how it looks. Although he does feel a little, he doesn't want to let on how good he feels about it, but yeah, he loves it.
Put your hand in it.
In it?
In it. And
He takes it off and yeah.
And your
It's a hat.
arm
For your
disappears
head.
for a second, and you feel like an inner pocket. You can't put big things in there, but you can put small ingredients and maybe a wand or.
What about a rat?
A pocket for a pocket.
A rat, I wouldn't, just because there's no air in there.
Ah,
But
okay. Yes.
it's 15 gold. You can store up to 5 items in it. I'm not a major magic user myself, but I am an artificer of some small renown.
Is it a hat of holding?
It is not a hat of holding. It is Eugene's hat of little pockets.
Excellent.
Oh my god!
That's amazing.
So you can store up to 5 small handheld items in there. No bigger than, say, a book.
Cool.
Amazing.
That's cool.
Well done, Eugene. That looks so
Sold.
good.
Absolutely. Thank you ever so much.
Excellent. So 15 gold, past her. And she goes, an absolute pleasure. And she goes, how about you two? And as you see, she just picks up that hat that you broke and starts sewing up the edge. And as she does, you can see it sealing properly, perfectly behind as she sews.
I'm just going to look immediately at Aisling and just tut.
Anything that interests the pair of you?
I don't think you have anything that would suit me. So no, I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
She goes, I don't know. I feel like you. And she kind of stops for a second. She pulls off this this deep green tricorn with a yellow feather, and she goes, I think this would very much bring out your eyes.
Well, I wouldn't want to be rude. Of course, I will try it on. You've been so kind.
Sits just nicely across the top of your horns, and so they just kind of curl. Or the one that's left curls just behind it.
It does look quite magnificent. I must say, I find it very. Yes, it does. Well. I mean, if I tilt it, it looks. Oh, that's very rakish, isn't it? I do like to support local businesses. How much is this?
For that one, just 1 gold.
One? No pockets in it, then?
Not for that one, no.
Okay. Well, one can never have too many say-something hats. I will take this off your hands, and I will give her a gold piece.
We have to go hat shopping with Rock every day.
I'm going to try it on. And I'm just going to I'm going to just cast a kind of cursory glance at Eugene, make sure that he catches my eye, and then I'm just going to say, although I feel like there is really nothing that would look quite as magnificent as Eugene's hat, but thank you for trying to make me feel a little better.
Anytime, dear, and you know where to find me if you have any needs in the future.
Thank you.
She smiles and goes back to mending the hat that Aisling broke.
Except Aisling leans on the counter and is like, "Do me next."
We can't all have hats.
Why not?
Take the attention away from my cool hat. I wanted to.
No one can take the attention away from that. Look at it.
Aisling has a point. Your hat is quite extraordinary.
It is good, isn't it?
It is.
And she goes, well, I do have something in mind for you. And she kind of looks at your colouring and goes, yeah. And she pulls down this sort of burnt umber bowler hat with 2 holes out the back. And she goes, make sure you slide it down gently. It should have plenty of give. And it does. It sits nicely and kind of here. So you've got burnt umber and then the teal coming.
I feel so cool.
I am told reliably by several fae that a bowler hat is the truest way to bring out one's horns.
It's true. That's science. It's true.
If you're of interest to it, that one is also 1 gold.
Cool. Immediately hand it over. I'm very happy with my bowler hat.
So you all have hats.
Yay! Yay! We win! We've won D&D.
Hats acquired.
Hats acquired. I won't kind of make the whole episode shopping related because it can be a lot of fun. But if there is anything that you guys wish to buy, use the equipment list in the player's handbook. If there's anything odd or weird, just let me know between episodes and we can sort that out, and I'll give you a gold cost for it as well.
Cool.
The Shop of Oddities is basically a little magic shop, but for lesser scrolls, magic accoutrement, and materials and things. So if there's any materials you need, you can buy them there. And the tailor really nice high quality tailor, so if you want to buy some fine clothes, you can do so. There is also a bakery and a confectioner as well, which Myrr is currently standing outside with a whopping great bag of licorice. But if there's nothing in particular now, I will move you back into the cart and on the way back to the Ogre's Rest.
Fine with me.
So the rest of your journey is probably spent swapping and talking about hats.
Yeah.
And no one's wearing this hat.
No,
No.
it's just between me and Rock, just being like,
Yeah.
okay, now you. Okay, okay, now you. Yeah.
Yes, but the bowler hat just resting between my horns about.
And mine slips right over my face because your head is way bigger than mine.
And within the hour, you are back at the Ogre's Rest. Myrr gets out first, as it's probably smartest for him to do so, and then helps the rest of you down. The cart is taken off. Myrr claps his hands together, which kind of creates this big booming echo in the along the road. I have a few duties I need to attend to, but you should probably just relax and then get to the ship tomorrow morning, I would recommend. If you need me at all, if I'm not around directly, you can always ask Neve or whoever's behind the bar. And I think Dietry will probably want to talk to you before you head out, just to confirm the contract.
Well, I'm sure we shall be partaking of your hospitality this evening, so I'm sure we'll see Dietry, and we shall have a chat with him.
And with that, he wanders in through a different entrance to you guys, and you make your way inside. Before you get 2 steps inside the door, you hear a voice, "Rock, Eugene, Aisling." And Neve is standing behind the bar. I've got a package for the 3 of you. Strange tabaxi woman dropped it off. Bit handsy. Can't say that I was pleasantly surprised by her, but she seemed nice enough. Said it was really important I got it to you.
I know who that is.
Lavender.
Yeah. Well, it's the only handsy. Well, no, it's not the only handsy tabaxi, but yeah, it's one of the. Anyway, let's go see. What did
It's
did
our
any of
handsy tabaxi.
Did any of you ask Lavender to send us anything?
I think so.
Very well.
There is on the counter a neatly wrapped package in a what looks like a green cloth, sealed with a wooden pin and a letter sitting on top of it.
I shall pick it up and shake it.
It doesn't really shake so much. There's a tiny little bit of a rattling sound inside.
I'll take the letter and give it to Eugene.
Yeah, I'll read the letter.
I will read the letter to you. The letter says, "Dear friends, I cannot thank you with words for helping me bring my Myrr back to me and my crew. So I hope these small gifts go a small way to expressing my gratitude. I feel you may have a long journey ahead, so please take it one step at a time, look after each other, and if you hit a roadblock, just put the kettle on, make a nice cup of tea, and the answer will present itself. While you're in Cloud's Cairn, please remember the following. Embers will always burn you, even if they look cold. Magpies can always be bought by something shiny, and you are never more than 10 foot away from a rat. Just say that Goldheart sent you. Be safe. GG."
Oh.
And that was actually from Jakey as well, so...
Oh,
Oh, he's an odd little creature, but he did grow on me.
From the brief experience I had of him, yeah, he seemed dead nice.
Oh, well, Ashley,
Let's
would you
open
like
it.
to open the parcel?
So you open the parcel, and inside is 2 bags, one of which is stoppered by a clay lid with a little tiny rounded top, and the other one is slightly larger with strange arcane runes written around the edge of the lip.
Can I read them? Because I have my magic eyes now.
Oh, yeah.
They are magic runes, but you can make an Arcana check. They're just generic
Okay.
magic runes, so they're not a language as such.
Damn it. 15?
15. You hold in your hands a bag of holding.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Just to make all adventurers' lives slightly easier.
Easier.
I am gonna hold it up with pride that I've realised what it is. Be like, it's a bag of holding!
Oh, well, that's very handy.
Oh!
I mean, it's not as sort of interesting and attractive to wear as Eugene's snappy little hat, but it's very handy, I have to say.
Oh, we'll get some sequins. Alright.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
So, you have this other item, which is this little pouch with a clay lid. And who has hold of that at the moment?
I think it's probably Ashling as well, because she opened the box.
I'm dual wielding.
What is Ashling's favourite tea?
Chamomile, because she needs to chill out.
I think curiosity gets the better of you, and you pull the lid, and you find inside, the inside of the pouch is bigger than the outside. And each inside, it looks like this little tiny, this sort of little barrel with little tiny pockets, each of which contain loose tea.
Oh my god. I'm going to sort of lean this towards Eugene and be like, you're going to want to see this one.
This is Jakey's own design. This is a bag of endless tea. A medium-sized pouch which opens to reveal the inside divided into many smaller pouches, each filled with endless supply of different teas. Jasmine chai, bergamot, gold heart breakfast blend, night time, sleepy time, raspberry leaf, and many, many others.
Oh my god, I
Amazing.
want one. Real life human Charlie wants one.
Yeah, there is one pouch which is secured quite tightly by several buttons and is red, whereas all the rest of them are the same colour as the outside of the sort of leathery outside of the main bag.
What's in the red one?
That pouch?
On it says for use only in emergencies, for when people just can't sleep.
Ooh, that could come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
So what you have there is sleeping herbs. If ingested, they can have the chance to put someone to sleep for the equivalent of a long rest, unless they're disturbed otherwise.
Nice.
Cool.
That's awesome. I love that.
It's such good presents.
This is a
Thanks,
present
Jakey.
so thank you very much, Jakey, for kind of working with
that's
me and getting those
genius.
off, everybody. And we really loved having Jakey with us as well, so that was a nice way to say thank you as well. So you're kind of left in the middle of the room with this sort of, like, basically, for a halfling this would be a cloak. For you guys it's just a piece of fabric, like a long fabric, a short cloak maybe if you're feeling fashionable. A shawl or a scarf.
Oh, I try it on. Nah. It's your colour, Rock. You should probably try it on.
I don't. I have my scarf. Thank you. My gold scarf is perfect. Wait! Give it here! Give it here! Give it. I'm going to take it and I'm going to sort of hide and sort of do stuff so that they can't see. And then when I turn around, it's a tiny little one. And I'm going to say, "For pocket." No. Well, if he wants it, obviously.
What, to wear as a scarf? That would be good
Yes.
for you.
Or a cape.
Ooh, but there's a cake. No, anyway, yes. Well, there you go. It was just you don't have to use it for pocket.
No, we can see if he wants it. Like, he's in my pocket. I'll get him out of my pocket and see what he thinks to the scarf.
Roll for magic.
kind of woken pocket up. So you say, what?
Rock made you a scarf or a cape?
Kind of looks at the two of you and kind of looks quizzically. Do you offer him the scarf?
Yeah. I'm offering it to him.
Kind of looks at it around, sniffs it, and then kind of throws it over his shoulder and kind of looks at Rock and tries to copy how Rock wears his scarf.
my
Rock's
God,
just
Pocket,
going to
you
be
look
very nonchalant.
amazing.
Very nonchalant. Just going to go. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean,
Beautiful.
you don't have to wear it. I mean,
So Pocket now has a green scarf, which is
Yes,
rat size. You still have most of the fabric left, but I guess you kind of just...
Pocket's going to go away and dye it purple.
Is
Like
Pocket
that's-
Fey or Celestial? I can't remember.
I think celestial. I am not sure.
I have to see when he goes back to the to his realm before he's resummoned.
Yeah.
Oh, little scarf on.
Anyway, there's enough of that silliness, right? We should all be preparing for the adventure tomorrow.
What should we do to prepare apart from like?
Wait, we have to talk to Dietrich. Is Dietrich around?
Oh yeah.
Dietrich is and Dietrich is probably in his office at the moment. To be fair, if he's not out dealing with the adventurers, you from what you've seen, particularly Rock, you know that if he's not dealing with contracts, he's locked away working on contracts. So he's a very focused goblin, is Dietrich. But you can.
It's
you
my
can
new
go-
Twitter bio. A very focused goblin.
Very focused.
Neve kind of just shoos you out of the bar once you've kind of had your general excitement. It's like if you're not eating or drinking, she kind of needs the space. So,
But is Dietrich in his office?
yeah, I think so. I think Marog, the dad, gave him some big stuff to deal with. So I think he's busy. Go and bother him. Shoo shoo.
Bye.
Very well. We go and knock on the door for Dietrich.
Come in. His tiny little office is about as chaotic as you remember it. Beautifully organised, but just paper everywhere. Like,
Oh my God.
Like a filing system for everything. You know that this goblin knows where absolutely everything is, but my goodness, it's a mess. There you are. Plonks the piece of paper in front of the three of you. Just finished it, actually. Perfect timing. Let's see now. For the sum of 500 gold, you will investigate the new island appearing in the skies of Klaus Kern on behalf of the mayor, reporting directly to the mayor's office after your initial examination. It is estimated the examination will take a maximum of 5 days. The skyship loaned to you will certainly provide you with additional time should it be required. Beyond 2 weeks, however, the captain will be required to renegotiate his fee, which may fall to you. I don't think it's that big an island, to be fair, but...
I don't think we'll take more than 2
It's
weeks.
never taken me 2 weeks to do any maps.
That does not surprise me.
You understand the clauses that you are responsible for your own safety whilst in this unfamiliar territory, and that anything that you find of value within that with that time is fair game, providing it is not of state importance. If it is a threat to the state as a whole, or the general peace of our world, you are to return it to here for disposal or in further investigation. Is that clear?
While he's going on, I'm just going to look at Ashling and just roll my eyes like, oh my god.
There is a sharp jab as a pen is kind of launched into your side. Pay attention,
Ow.
Rock. This is very important stuff. You're not dealing with thugs and murderers now. You're dealing with political situations that could blow up in our faces.
Yes, all right.
It's very important.
It may be important, but it's still very dull.
It is very dull. But do you think it's I like contracts and this is dull, but it's important. So,
We all have our vices.
right.
Aisling spots a clause in there about the state not being liable for death, maiming, injury, possession, necromancy. I'm just like, oh boy. Okay.
Transition to other dimensions.
Yep.
Yep, things like that. Death as consumption by dragon.
Yep. Enflailment.
Losing a limb by bag of holding.
Ah, yes. Happens.
I think
Does
I think you point. Well, it depends on what you put in there. Just be careful. Don't put any bear traps in there.
Okay,
where
Aisling,
else am I supposed
you
to
can
put
look
them?
after the bag of holding.
Okay.
No, wait, that's a bad idea. Rob, you take the bag of holding.
Okay.
No, it's fine. Aisling can have the bag of holding. She's got all those map things and everything. It's fine. She can.
Generally, Aisling does have more stuff than the rest of you.
Yeah,
I have a lot of stuff. I'm a man.
Aisling also seems like the most likely to lose a limb.
I know, but the bag will just, it won't look great under my coat. And so, no, it's fine. Aisling can have the bag. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure she'll be fine. I trust her. I mostly trust her.
And
Anyway. She's fine.
gathering from this that you've just acquired a bag of holding. Have you turned it inside
Oh yeah,
out?
we're saying all this out loud, aren't we?
Yeah. Have you turned it inside out just to check what you actually have in there already?
That is a
There's
good
stuff in
point.
it.
Maybe there is.
Well, if previous owner hasn't emptied it, then there may very well be.
I
But if you
immediately
don't
do it
know-
over the desk.
The desk is just covered in tea bags.
No, it's fine. You turn it inside out, and there's only one thing that clatters to the floor, and it is a medium-sized rod with a button on it.
Ooh.
Do I know
I
what that
pick
is?
it up and I press it.
Make an Arcana check for me.
Don't press it. Don't press things
Uh,
like
do,
Too late,
do
it's
you
pressed.
press the button? So the
Yes.
rod seems to...
She pressed the button.
She presses the button, and the rod seems to freeze in place.
Okay.
Oh.
And you
I
can't
know what
move
it
it.
is.
If I let go of it,
It stays hanging in space.
oh,
Oh, it's an immovable rod.
I'm gonna immediately say, wait, watch this, and I'm going to hoist myself up on the immovable rod that is just in the middle of air, and just sit on it, kind of cross-legged, like I'm on a trapeze or something, and I'm just go, ta-da!
I'm going to take an acrobatics check for that. It is a very thin rod.
Acrobatics. 10.
10? It's not to die. As soon as he says to die, oh, and grabs hold of the rod again, as he realises that it's quite a perch.
wow.
And then I'm going to very
That was-
awkwardly sort of slide down. And I'm just going to say, I've seen them use these in performances and things. They're very handy. Also can save your life as well. So that's quite a find, I would say. That's and probably worth quite a bit
How
of gold
do-
if we... Anyway.
How do you turn it off?
Before
Sort of
anyone
pokes it a
answers, I'm
bit.
just going to say, you can't. That's it. It's here forever now.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, that's it. You shouldn't have pushed the button.
Oh, I'm sorry, I broke it.
Yep, that's it.
Alpha, you pressed the button again. You are so cruel to this poor girl.
Oh, I
don't-
press it
oh,
and it
so-
falls.
spoiler everything.
Anyway, I need you to sign the contract now that your excitement is over.
Oh yeah, yeah. I shove it back in the bag of holding.
Okay, so you guys sign the contract? Awesome.
Scribble, scribble, scribble.
Awesome. Well, the dragonfly is awaiting your arrival tomorrow morning. I suggest you gather any supplies you might need, get some rest, and I will wish you the best of luck.
Well,
Thanks.
thank you.
And he files away the paperwork and leaves you and lets you go back about your business.
Just before we leave, Eugene would like to ask Dietrich if he's heard anything about his uncle.
Not as yet, my dear. I tell you what, whilst you are getting ready, I will see if I can get in contact with him.
Thank you.
Pulls out a small piece of paper as you're kind of leaving and starts writing on it. And I think Eugene, kind of as you're closing the door, you kind of see this thing fold into the shape of a bird and fly out of a window. Cool. So, is there anything you want to do for the rest of today? We'll take care of shopping and anything you want to do offline for everybody, rather than sitting you going to go, oh, I can buy a halberd and a chest plate and things.
What sort of time of day is it?
It's probably about midday, like lunch sort of time.
Okay.
I'd say about now. Maybe a little bit later. But there's not a lot else that you desperately need to do other than that. It's entirely up to you what you want to do.
Having heard that conversation, I'm just going to, if we're just sitting in the tavern or something, I'm going to say to Eugene, you're very close to your uncle then?
Yeah, well, he's not my real uncle. He's one of my my dad's associates, but he's the one who kind of introduced me to magic, like learning how to cast magic.
See. Oh, that's very exciting.
Yeah, me and him are a lot more similar than me and my dad. So he's the one who kind of took me under his wing when I was younger.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah,
What,
when
my
did
dad?
you last see him?
No, your uncle.
Oh.
No, your uncle.
I mean, your dad too. I'm not saying your dad's not fine.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while. He was supposed to meet me from the airship when we first arrived.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, he did send me a note to say he'd be in contact, but yeah, I guess it's kind of unusual.
I was asked to accompany you to make sure so he did leave instructions.
Yeah. And like you say, I'm sure he's fine. I just wondered.
I'm sure.
I think the evening winds on. You get yourselves ready, and I think perhaps the more sensible minds amongst you probably convince the others to have an early night because it's a big day tomorrow.
Was that a subtle dig?
No. It's up to you guys to decide.
Aisling to go to bed.
I have a sneaking suspicion that Rock will probably be up too later than he should be anyway, sitting in the tavern and regaling people with stories and slowly sipping on one glass of dragon's breath because it costs as much as 3 casks of ale. So
I think Aisling might see if Eugene's up for having like a tea tasting sesh with this amazing flask of every tea.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We're trying all of them. And then I think Aisling accidentally has the sleepy stuff and is like, oh, okay.
Make a
Bedtime.
Constitution saving throw for me, please.
Whoa. 10? Yep, okay.
Straight out. So you see her kind of mixing this slightly weird red berry that kind of has this very sort of floral smell, and she kind of, before she offers it to you, she kind of takes a sip and then interesting, and then just her face plants to desk at the table, like straight off.
Oh. Rock. I think Aisling had the wrong tea.
Rock's just going to look over and just go, Eugene, have you killed her?
No.
Well, she'll lift up her arm and just drop it and just go, well, I think maybe you have.
She's not dead. She's just sleeping.
Well, how can you tell? I think she may be dead.
I mean, you can wake her up. It's like having a very deep sleep. It's not easy to wake her up, but you would need to shake her or something.
No!
Maybe we just kind of carry her upstairs.
Okay. Which would you like, the hooves or the horns?
Don't carry me by my horns!
I just meant which end.
I'll take the front.
Not the spiky bit.
And I think it takes you guys a little longer than you really want, but you do eventually manage to get Aisling up to bed.
Halfway up the stairs, as we're struggling with Aisling, Rock's just going to randomly yell to anyone who's like watching us, just go, "No, don't help," and then carry on.
I think there's a half orc who's halfway out of her seat, and then you say, "No, don't help." And goes, oh, all right then.
And then we will put Aisling to bed, and I will make sure she's covered and tucked in.
I've got a real cheeky grin on.
It is one of the. I mean, like, it's the deepest sleep you've had in
I'm
a
having
while.
a good snooze right now.
You feel very relaxed. To the
I'm
point.
going to just say to Eugene, if she doesn't wake up tomorrow, it's your fault.
Yeah.
I
Also,
didn't make her drink the tea.
You
Well,
were
I
the
certainly
adult
didn't.
supervising me.
I am
I leave you
barely
two
an
alone.
adult.
I leave you two
Emotionally.
alone with tea. I leave you alone with tea, and you manage to knock her out. I mean, it's probably just as well that neither of you drink a lot. Anyway, I'm sure she'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Maybe.
she is fine. Absolutely. I mean, you're a bit groggy the following morning. It's kind of like it's not a natural sleep. It's an induced sleep. So you're not your brightest self, but you feel like you've had a good long nap and you feel bright and breezy, I suppose.
I'm like when a pet comes back from the vets and they're a bit dopey.
You guys gather your things and make your way to the entrance. Neve is behind the bar this morning, and Murr and Dietrich are both waiting for you to see you off. Be careful out there. Make sure that you look after one another and come back to us as quickly as you are able.
That's the plan.
I'm just going to say, in front of the other two as well, I'm just going to say, this is quite an important mission, isn't it?
It is indeed.
Because you two never really paid this much attention or look this serious with this. So,
Just remember what we've said and be careful. We trust you.
Thank you.
As you go. That's just so fond of telling us, Rock. You are a very capable adventurer.
I would go so far as to say that we are all rather capable adventurers, which I think we have proved. Thank you very much.
And we believe it, which is why we have organized this contract for you. We trust you. You can do this. Good luck.
Of course we can. Goodbye.
And you wanders off. And you make your way down to the shipyard, where you see a very different looking ship. Whereas skyships you've seen before are basically flying boats, this one is long and spear-like. It has sails that kind of crest over and slightly under to keep it aloft, and two rudders that come out to kind of give it a shift and movement. It is slimmer, but bigger than the other vessels around. You also notice there's strange rigging that runs all the way around the vessel, with rope that's made from a dedicated steel rather than just like silk or. So it looks like it's basically been built to last a lot longer. As you make your way past, you also see, just behind her, a very familiar looking vessel. You see the Swallow's Envy with her blue sails. she looks a little bit battered around the side, and there's currently a couple of people working on. You hear hammering and welding as they're trying to get the outside of the ship ready for sail again. The familiar visage of the captain, arms folded as always, kind of looking over the edge with his crew doing their best to be busy whilst they can't actually go anywhere.
Ashling's going to manically wave, even though she's pretty sure they can't see her from there.
A couple of them do wave back. You see like familiar ones because obviously you saved their lives, so they recognise you immediately.
Yeah.
Also, there's not that many teal-haired satyrs in Cloud's Curtain.
That's true.
But they give you a wave back. The one you came to know as... I will just find the name myself. So many NPCs, so little time. Dernis, the young human male, shouts out, "You're the one they chose for this job, then?
Yeah, it's going to be well good.
It's really weird. Be careful."
Okay.
They all know you.
Oh yeah, they all. I saved them, so yeah, they kind of know me.
Eugene, you are familiar with all of them as well, because obviously you travelled in from the twins on this boat. You step onto the dock next to the Dragonfly, though, and you are stopped by a large, muscular female sailor who gives you a big grin. She goes, "You're the adventurers."
What gave us away?
Well, you're colourful. That tends to mean you're not dock workers. She kind of looks you all up. She goes, "All right, I'm Mass. Stuff your guild sorted out with the mayor's already on board in your cabin. Really sorry, we're not multi-cabin. You guys are going to have to share, but we will get you there faster than anyone else."
Rock's face.
Come on board. I'll introduce you to the rest of the crew. And she does. There's another female human sailor, slighter woman with very dark skin, almost blue, and very deep eyes, called Tobin. There is a bright green tiefling with dark black hair and a very easy smile that she introduces you as Revel, who's currently sitting off to one side plucking at a harp, like a little tiny harpsichord. Harp. Brain. What are words?
Instrument.
Yes. There is a clever looking half-orc, which she calls Odd Bob, who rolls his eyes at when she kind of introduces him as such. "Bob is fine. I am the navigator for the ship." That one over there, she says as she points to a halfling, is Myrr. And she points to there's a very small, blonde halfling with quite tall for a halfling, but still much shorter than the rest of you. And that, she points upwards as you guys watch a large mechanical chair pull itself down on these metal runs, is Bill the Corsair, our captain. The chair comes down as the captain pulls himself down. This dwarven man with only shaven shaven cheeks, and a mop of brown hair that's tied back just behind their loose-fitting shirt and more pistols than he knows what to do with. And he's currently, like, with these big meaty arms, just dragging himself down. And you can see him locks in and then just pulls himself down in this chair to the ground, which he kind of locks off and then kind of wheels himself out in front of you. Ah, there you be. That's brilliant. Rock, am I right?
That is right.
Ashling? Which means
That's me.
you must be young Appleby.
Hello.
He reaches up and just shakes each of your hands. Welcome to the Dragonfly. Fastest ship in these airs, I tell you. Don't listen to what the swallows will tell you. They're not right. And he kind of wheels himself up and kind of... So, I will get Mass to show you round to your cabin. We can depart in the hour. If there's anything else you need from me, just say. I am at your disposal. For the now, get yourself comfortable and enjoy my ship. She's beautiful, and I don't need you to tell me so I know. And kind of off, off he goes, using ramp to get up to where the wheel is.
Well, it certainly lives up to his reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are on board the Dragonfly. Within the hour, the captain calls out to everybody to ready the station. The familiar last checks done with the dock. Mass and Tobin, these two humans, kind of bound back off to their cast off, and then with reflexes, like kind of fanciness, like a little bit more than you've seen on other ones. They kind of tie ropes to themselves as they do, and they literally kick off the vessel and then swing back on as she kind of floats gently out. And then there's a thrum as you hear the engines underneath kind of start to kick in, and you see little panels of eldritch energy along the side of the Dragonfly, and she shifts and thrums forward faster than you're used to at this sort of pace, and just gently glides out.
I feel like I skid around a little bit on my hooves as that happens. Like, oh shit!
I keep forgetting about your hooves.
And she breaks even. And I think that's a great place for us to wrap up today as you embark on your next adventure.
Sail off to the horizon.
Yeah.
Oh, such a cool ship.
Thank you, guys. This has been... I know it's been a bit more chilled, but I figured the guys needed the team needed a wonderful break after their 3 days of quite intense adventure.
Yep.
Also, it's kind of nice to kind of explore and do a little bit of lore dump with you guys every once in a while. So
it was such a nice chill one.
I'm glad you're
good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank
you, Chris.
Thank you so much. We will be back in a fortnight's time on the 17th of October for this continuation and the first part of this island exploration adventure. We shall see what comes of this. Don't forget, we are back on the 31st as well this month, so you get us 3 times this month. Which is 3 times for the price of 2. not that we charge you anything anyway. We do this because we love you.
Surprise! We're charging you.
Yeah. But we will be back for our spoopy Halloween special. These guys are very, very excited. They told me the other day they have character ideas going around. We're going to hammer those out this week. Our 2 guests have confirmed. We're very excited to have them on board, but I will introduce you to them on the socials over the next week or so as well. Is there anything I've missed, guys? Is there anything else? I think that's it.
Make sure you follow some other heroes on stuff.
Yes, listen to this lady. She is wise. as is her character. Yes, please, if you're not already doing so, please follow us both on Twitch, on Instagram and Twitter. We are Some Other Heroes on all those channels. Also, we are also on YouTube, where you can find us using bit.ly/Some Other Heroes YT, and that will take you straight through to our channel. If you could give us any likes and subscribes on those, that would be absolutely amazing. Helps us start building this all up, which is what we want to do a little bit with it. If you are around midweek on Wednesday, our friends at Wicked Game and our friends at Dice and a Slice should be continuing their piratical themed foray crossover. It is absolute bedlam, and it is one of the most chaotic games I've ever seen, and it's brilliant for it. They've got such great characters, and everything just goes all over the shot. It really is worth a laugh. So please go and support them as well. I think that's it for me. I am going to go in reverse order from where I started, so we're going to start with Wayne.
Thank you very much, everybody. My name is Wayne Fick, and I am on the socials as WayneFick01. And thank you for joining us. And as everybody has said, please just give us a like and a follow where you can. We do appreciate everybody, and thank you, Chris, for all the work that you put in on this. And we are building and hoping to keep building a really lovely community of people who enjoy this, and we really would appreciate any follows and likes and shares. If you know anyone who would enjoy watching or listening to this, we'd really appreciate it if you'd let them know. So thank you very much. That's it from me.
Yay, spread our weirdness. We love doing this for you, and we want to share it with as many people as we can. Next is Theo.
Hello. Yes, thank you for joining us. Thank you, as always, to Chris for putting in all the work behind the scenes. And thank you to my lovely co-adventurers. Yes, you can, as always, you can find me on the internet at theoblue.jpg on most platforms. I have a exciting shop update this week for my Etsy store. So it's been closed for a month-ish, but reopening on Tuesday, this Tuesday the 5th at 7 p.m, where I have, I think, 15 new products.
Damn.
Yeah, most of them spooky related. So if you like Halloween, then come check it out.
Spoopy.
We do love a little bit of spoopy over here.
Yes,
really
always.
Thank you for adding that in, Wayne. That's awesome. And last but never least, our Ashling, Charlie.
Hi. So you can find me at charlievince.com. Charlie spelt without an E. And I, like Theo, have also had a little shop update with a bunch of new vinyl stickers with some really dumb stuff on them. I've also got a D&D themed sticker sheet that I've just put up as well, which is pretty good for all you delicious nerds. And for you delicious nerds, make sure that you think of a fellow delicious nerd and send them our way, because the more beautiful dorks that we get, the better. And talking about beautiful dorks, thank you, Chris, for being amazing.
Absolutely.
And
my
thank
pleasure.
you, Theo and Wayne, for being equally amazing. And thank you, everyone, for watching today. It's been fab.
Yeah, we absolutely adore doing this for you guys, and I am very excited to see where this all goes for you.
Oh, P.S. Hi, Mum.
Hi.
Oh, yeah, hi,
Charlie.
Charlie's
And
mum.
Charlie's sister as well, who was in today. That was
And
awesome.
Georgie, my sister.
That was amazing. Right. That is it for us today. We will be back in a fortnight. In the meantime, take care of each other, love each other. Know that you've always got a space here for you. We love you lots. Yeah.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.